Alright, so I just came back now from the mall. I picked up the brand new DJI Pocket 4. And yes, this video is not sponsored. I paid for this camera with my own money. And today I'm going to unbox the camera, briefly compare it at least physically to the DJI Pocket 3. And then I'm going to set it up from scratch with my settings to get the absolute best image quality possible from this camera. With that said, let's start. Alright, so I have the Pocket 4 on the left and the Pocket 3 on the right. And the first thing I noticed between these cameras is that the joystick on the Pocket 4 feels significantly different than the one on the Pocket 3. First of all, it's more clicky on the Pocket 4, and then the movement itself feels a bit smoother, if you will, than on the Pocket 3. And then also it is a bit longer. Like if you look at the joystick in here, it is slightly longer, protruding outside, compared to the joystick on the Pocket 3 here, if you can see. And then obviously on the Pocket 4 you have this costume button in here and zoom button, whereas on the Pocket 3 you do not have these buttons. But overall, in terms of like handling, the cameras feel more or less the same. Maybe it's a bit grippier on the Pocket 4 in here on the back. The texture is a bit different, but it is more or less the same. All right, now let's go through the firmware installation process, and then I'm going to set up the camera from scratch. So I'm going to click accept. Alright, I just finished activating the camera. Now there is a firmware update, so let's install that. Say hello to YouTube Newton. Ow, ow, ow. That hurts. Ow, ow, ow. Alright, finally the camera finished updating. That took a long time, if I'm honest. Let's start setting everything up basically to the best possible settings, and tomorrow I'm gonna go out and take it for a spin and see how the footage looks like compared to the Pocket 3. So first of all, let's go in here. Okay, updated. I don't want this icon in here. Thank you. And then I'm gonna set it to 4K 25p. Then let's go in here. What's this? Fill light. I don't have the fill light. Then what is this? Gesture control. I don't really want that right now. In here, gimbal startup, forward, variable mode, blah blah blah. Audio backup, what's that? No, I don't really need that. USB mode, nothing really in here. That's for transferring files. Wireless connection, I don't need that. Gimbal calibration, I don't need that. Bitrate, let's set this to high to get the absolute best image quality possible from this camera. And then anti-flicker, I'm gonna set to automatic to let the camera basically control the flickering. If there's a flickering issue, it's gonna do it automatically for me. Time code, I'm not gonna touch, and everything else I'm just gonna leave with the default settings. Okay, let's go in here. What's this? Subject. That I'll do later. Costume button. All right, let's see how we can customize the costume button. Single press, quick capture, gimbal recentered, rotate gimbal, photo video. Maybe for now I'll do rotate gimbal just to make it a bit quicker so I don't have to triple click on the joystick itself. Now what is this? Screen rotate capture, I don't need that. Brightness, set it to as high as possible to be able to properly expose my shots. Then this I don't really need now. Selfie flip, That's basically for mirroring the screen, I guess. I don't need that for now. Sounds, let's set it to medium. And then this is grid. I want that. Thank you very much. And I think in here, I'm pretty much done. That's the storage. Now we have 107 gigabytes of internal storage, which I'm so happy because I don't have to buy an extra SD card for this camera, and the transfer speeds are insanely fast. I've been using the internal storage on my Action 6 since release pretty much, and I've been very happy with this feature because it is significantly quicker than using a micro SD card to transfer, the footage from the SD card to basically the computer. All right, and now let's get in here. Glamour effect, I'm not going to turn on. Beautify, I'm not going to turn on. I'm going to turn on the Pro setting in here. With the exposure, I'll set it to automatically probably tomorrow when doing like vlog tests and so on. But ideally, I would set it to manual when exposing myself. Let's set it to auto for now. And then white balance, of course, I'm going to set manually if I'm going to expose manually as well at the same time. Beautify, I don't need that. Color, of course, I'm going to set it to D-Log 10-bit. Finally, we have proper D-Log with this camera and not D-Log M. This is going to make it so much easier for me to color grade and match the footage from this camera to my mirrorless cameras and my iPhone as well. And honestly, I feel like this is going to be the biggest upgrade with this camera compared to the Pocket 3, at least for me. And then in terms of focus, I'm going to use continuous focus, and let's see what we have in here as well. Product showcase, default, subject lock tracking. That's a new mode if I'm not mistaken. Then let's see what we have with the single focus. Nothing really, just tap to focus like with the Pocket 3. So you have the default, then we have subject recognition tracking, and then basically you can register your face to the camera and it will only track you and no one else in the background, which is very handy if you're going to vlog in crowded areas. And then bleeding compensation, I'm gonna turn off. I don't really care about that for now. And of course, texture, -2, noise reduction, -2, because I want to get the most organic image possible. And if I need more sharpness or I need to reduce the noise, I can do that later on myself in DaVinci Resolve. Now let's see what we have here with the audio. I'm gonna set it to mono audio. And then noise reduction, I'm going to turn off because usually it creates artifacts. Audio zoom, what's audio zoom? Alright, adjust the audio gain if you zoom basically with the camera. That's pretty cool, but I don't really need that. Vocal boost, I don't need that. And I think, honestly, I am done. And if I click this button, it should zoom. Yeah, it does zoom. Can you do more zoom than 2x? Ah, yes, you can do up to 4x zoom in here. Alright, so another thing that I want to test is my Freewell Pocket 3 filters. I want to see if I can put them on the Pocket 4 if they fit, and also I want to see if once I leave a filter on the lens and then I turn off the camera, will the camera fold nicely? Because with these filters, when I use them on the Pocket 3, I cannot basically fold the camera when turning it off. So let's see. I'm sure they will fit, no problem. Okay, works like expected, no issues at all. But now let's see if I turn off the camera, if the camera is going to fully fold or not. Turning it off. And yes, it does. Wow, that's really awesome, because with this camera, these filters do not fold. Let me show you. I'm gonna take another filter. So as you can see, I have the filter on the Pocket 3. Let's turn it off. And as you can see, the camera does not fold. So that's definitely an upgrade for me because I'm always using filters on my Pocket camera. But now let's try a different filter from the same brand. This is just the standard ND filter. Let me take CPL ND filter because the shape is a bit different, as you can see. Let's try to turn off the camera. And it works no problem. And then I also have these filters from Freewell. The shape is also a bit different. Let's try it out. The magnets are not as strong with these filters, but let's just see if it's gonna work or not. Folding the camera. and it works no problem. So there's definitely more clearance between the lens and the gimbal with the Pocket 4 compared to the Pocket 3. And honestly, for me, for someone who's using filters all the time, this is definitely going to be a huge upgrade. All right, so I think this is it for today. Tomorrow I'm going to mount these cameras side by side and go for a spin and see which one produces better image quality and how much, if the Pocket 4 is better, by how much it is better basically. And if you have any ideas or suggestions, please let me know down below. And yeah, I guess hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and bye bye.